Welcome to my show, How Rock is Saved, and I'm very, very excited to bring a second folk metal band to your attention. This is CRUACHAN from Dublin. They're formed in the 90s. They are given credit for expanding folk metal. Their focus is Celtic music and mythology, making this band Celtic metal. Their name comes from an archaeological site in Ireland. Keith Fay from Tolkien-inspired black metal band Minas Tirith was influenced by Skyclad. Irish rockers Horselips were also an influence. First LP was titled Tuatha Na Gael, but Keith Fay was disappointed. Yet the album was enough of an attraction for Century Media Records. The contract they were offered gave the label the right to change every aspect of the music. Kudos for reading the contract, guys. But the band could not go on without a record deal, so they disbanded in '97. 2 years later, they reformed and they signed with Hammerheart Records. The new album was The Middle Kingdom in 2000. They had dropped the black metal. Vocalist Karen Gilligan was added. And the follow-up was Folklore and was produced by Shane McGowan of the Pogues. He also contributed vocals on traditional Irish song covers. Fourth album, Pagan, went in 2004. Keith Fay was again disappointed with the production. The Morrigan's call was more to his liking. Colin Purcell joined as the drummer and Karen Gilligan left, and Keith took over the lead vocals. And then in 2011, Keith Fay was assaulted by a Dublin gang. He survived, but he was shaken enough to go on hiatus. He turned up again in 2014 and signed with Troll Zorn Records. The band was back in business with tours in Russia, Germany, Ukraine, and Israel. Back home, Fay announced that he intended to retire, but he continued to perform as a guest musician. Here's the discography. 1. Tuatha Na Gael in 95. 2. The Middle Kingdom in 2000. 3. Folklore 2002. Pagan 2004. The Morrigan's Call in 2006. Blood on the Black Robe in 2011. Blood for the Blood God in 2014, and 9 Years of Blood. I'm not sure what year that came out, but it's pretty recent. What's the shelf life of 9 Years of Blood? So, this is how folk metal has gone. The 90s saw few representative bands, but then in 2000, Finland exploded with new folk metal bands Finitrol, Anisferum, Korpiklianini, Turisas, and Moon Sorrow. Amorphous gave us atmospheric death metal. There are now Spanish folk metal bands such as Mago de Oz, and the genre is given to regional variations such as folk in Poland. It's distinct from folk in Austria, as the country Poland is as distinct from the country of Austria. Simple. German band Subway to Sally began as folk rock, but then started singing in German and adding Teutonic metal. Bagpipes hurdy-gurdy, lute, mandolin, shalom, fiddles, and flutes with the usual metal instruments. This band has been given credit for setting off a wave of new medieval rock bands. Where is Ian Anderson in all this? Credit where credit is due. The folk metal genre has dramatically expanded since the year 2000. Finland is a hub. They have added Finnish polka to the mix. This means humor. Metal bands have been stone serious up until now, but not anymore. Their lyrics are mostly Swedish, since Swedish is more trollish than Finnish. I did not know that. 7 members, all into Tolkien. Their narrative is Finnish history, when Christianity first came to Finland. And the myths have trolls fighting Christian knights. It was a frolic. And count on an end-time band to finish what? You know what? I can't think of an appropriate pun here. Finish by the Finnish? There are approximately 91 bands now who identify as folk metal. Sprinkled in the USA, Scotland, Finland, Austria, Russia, Bulgaria, Sweden, Canada, Romania, Switzerland, Ireland, Taiwan. Taiwan? Czech Republic, Hungary, Italy, Germany, England, Norway, Portugal, France, the Netherlands, Ukraine, Denmark, Egypt, Poland, Lithuania, Spain, Canada, Argentina, Iceland, the Faroe Islands. Wow. Not Romania? How can that be? Come on, Belarus, step up. This is extraordinary. These 90 bands survive in a place where Europhiles are trying to remove borders. Looks to me like people want to celebrate their heritage, not to let it fade into a George Orwellian paradise. So, best keep that in mind. Orphan Land, a folk metal band from Israel, borrows from Middle Eastern music, both Jewish and Arabic. They are called Oriental metal. Myrath in Tunisia added North African themes. Lazy Wall from Morocco uses a djembe and an oud. Imagine an oud in Dream Theater. It's really not that hard to imagine that, is it? Andaz Azul from Algeria blends Berber melodies and themes with violin and metal. Egypt has a female-fronted Oriental metal band, Massive Scar Era. What if it's folk and heavy metal that will bring peace to the Middle East? Yeah, that's right, peace. Spain's Maggio de Oz folk metalists have charted in Mexico and South America. Conrad is a folk metal band from Barbados. Nine Treasures is a folk metal band from China, actually Mongolia. The Hue is a folk metal band from Taiwan. And Chthonic is a folk metal band from Taiwan as well. I guess the Hue is actually from Mongolia. My mistake. Please don't type in something like Mongolian, because I won't be able to read that. Is that actually a language? Probably not. Anyhow. Called the Black Sabbath of Asia, Chthonic is the black magic. Black Sabbath of Asia. Magic. You know, the Bible says not to tolerate witchcraft, but you know, witches are not evil. They're not. It's just they see magic in the earth and try to tap into that. They're not all women. And people who follow these types of bands here, maybe they're into magic too. Want to know a secret about magic? This is something that might be a little bit difficult for some of you to swallow. But virtually every church and synagogue and mosque practices magic. So anyhow, these guys have released 8 studio albums, and I have got to hear them. Chthonic is a Greek term referring to the earth and the underworld. Fred Lim is their vocalist. His lyrics are in Taiwanese, classical Chinese, and Mandarin, and English. Their debut album, Where the Ancestors' Souls Gathered, went in 1998. It went to number 2 on the Tower Records pop music chart for Asia. Their second album, Ninth Empyrean, went to number 1. It mixes Asian pentatonic scales with black metal. They have seen success in Europe and the US. So, what's next? Black metal you can dance to? What? They already have that? Sheesh. Put it this way. Any combination you can imagine has either already been done or will be in the new Roaring 20s. I'm East Coast Pete. You heard it here first, or second, or however many numbers you want them go up to. I'll be back with another folk metal band as soon as I can find one. Be well.
Alrighty, this is from the Blood for the Blood God album. This is a song about Irish people killing Vikings. It's beautiful. This is